Attack of the show. Attack.
iPhone 4 is here! iPhone 4 is here!
Find out if you should whip out your wallet!
iPhone 4.
2010 is turning into a banner year for Apple. First, there was the iPad, and now the completely redesigned iPhone 4. At 0.37 inches thin, it's the world's thinnest smartphone, and that's including the new Retina display with a 960 by 640 resolution. There's also a 5-megapixel camera with flash, HD video recording, a front-facing camera for video chat, and a ton more features starting at $200 with a contract.
Not to scale.
Now, as expected, the iPhone 4 is one of the slickest devices we have put our hands on. It is amazingly thin and light, though it is a little heavier than the 3GS. It's not as smooth as the other iPhones, but it still feels sturdy, although I kind of feel like it feels a little cheap.
You said cheap.
Yeah.
That's not the adjective that I would use necessarily, but grasping from the 3GS to this, I actually did not like the feel of the iPhone 4
boxy
as much as the 3GS. But
whatever. It has the oleophobic coating on both sides that's supposed to repel fingerprints. I don't even know how that's humanly possible, but that's awesome that it has it.
yeah,
So
it's science. It's Apple. It's just
science. Oh my gosh.
unicorns and wishes, and there you don't see fingerprints.
I like unicorns. So how does the new Retina display compare to other OLED screens, like the Droid Incredible? Those
OLED screens, they tend to be more vibrant. You get much higher contrast ratios. They didn't seem as bright as the Retina display, though. The Retina display looks a ton smoother, way more detailed. We're talking 960 by 640 versus 800 by 480.
That's a lot of numbers.
Yeah, the bigger numbers are better, and the iPhone 4 has the bigger numbers. Just know that. Now there are phones coming out that have larger screens. There's the Evo. The iPhone screen is starting to look kind of small. Like some are offering 4.3-inch screens. So some people don't want to carry around a brick of a phone for the screen size. Others will expect the iPhone to get larger.
That is true, but I have to say the display, when I looked at it, it didn't even look like a display. It looked like you said, like a printout on the phone.
It looked like a very glossy printout. You don't expect it to move the way it does.
It's incredible.
It's
I'm sure your
gorgeous.
TV is not good enough to show how amazing this display is.
Our cameras aren't good enough to
That's
even
true.
capture this display.
That's
it's actually
true.
our fault. But when you get
awesome.
your eyes really close to it, you can't even see the pixels. It's very it's a
There's
very
no
incredible
pixels.
technology. Yeah, they're in there. They're just very tiny like.
I like them. All right, now one huge advancement is the use of Apple's A4 processor.
Right.
It's the same one that's in the iPad, which is supposed to speed up the already smooth user experience. Apparently, Angry Birds loads like that.
It does. You can throw colored birds across the screen in record time. It works really great. The A4 is fast. It's actually almost twice as fast than the 3GS, especially when launching applications and running them in the background. Now, again, the multitasking is not quite what we thought. Most apps don't take advantage of being in the background yet. Some of them will reload, and even ones that have been updated don't offer full backgroundable functionality. It's not as easy to use as something like the WebOS card system that the Pre uses, which is surprising to me. I'd rather see that. I know it could be a battery drain, but there should be a better way around that. Overall, the phone's touchscreen interface is still the best in the business. Apple has that section locked down.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now, we know the iPhone's standard features, but what about new ones like the 5-megapixel camera, the front-facing camera, and HD video?
Yeah, they all work really well. The camera has an LED flash. It takes phenomenal pictures, worlds better than the 3GS. And this is a huge improvement that iPhone users have needed for a long time. The fact that they haven't had a flash is ridiculous.
Right.
You can also take pictures with the front-facing camera, although they're going to be a lesser quality. I don't know why you do that.
Although it's a lot easier to take pictures of you and your friends.
It's fun to surprise yourself with it. That's about it. 720p video looks amazing, and you can edit with iMovie on the phone. The iMovie app is a little confusing, but it only took us about 5 minutes or so to do this 10-second feature. Enjoy.
We're going to see sneaker, to knee, to groin, to Bruce, the Flash.
Yeah. So not only did that highlight my amazing editing abilities.
This is Bruce.
And that was Bruce. You're welcome, everybody. But it showed you the difference between the flash being on or off. The flash makes a huge difference. But with the iMovie app, I know it's a bit of a separate review, but you get transitions, titles, and music like Phoenix's 1901, which was just in that video. Strangely enough, though, here's the downfall.
All right.
You have to upload your video to the computer to actually get full HD resolution.
Really?
It'll automatically compress it if you try to email it. And that, to me, was a little ridiculous, especially if I'm on Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
I should be able to just get the video off.
Just send it right off.
FaceTime is a lot of fun. You can switch between either the front-facing camera or the back. You can rotate the screen to change your view, but it's only on Wi-Fi. And we've known that, but it's like you have to be on Wi-Fi and you have to connect to someone else that has an iPhone 4. So these Jetson-style moments that people are dreaming up with FaceTime just don't exist.
Right, we're not driving in our car and video chatting our mom.
No, we're texting while driving. That's what we're doing.
I wouldn't
We're not
recommend
taking
it.
video and driving yet.
Although I'm assuming that you'd be able to do this on a plane at some point, which could be kind of cool.
I really don't want that ability. I don't want anybody next to me to have the ability
Look, it's
to.
my daughter.
Yeah.
Look how cute she is.
No, sir, I don't
Look.
care about you or your daughter. Get your arm off my armrest now. I will stab you in the throat.
Now, we all have to remember that this phone is on AT&T still.
Yeah.
So obviously reception is spotty.
Oh, is that what that meant? Is that what you remember that noise?
That was
okay,
me not liking AT&T.
Yeah, AT&T
at
is
all.
terrible. We know.
And reports online are saying that if you grab the phone at the bottom, it may actually interrupt your signal. So was this true with ours? That sounds ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, look, if I wrap my phone in tinfoil and put it in a Faraday cage, for some reason I can't send a text. Yeah, it's off and on. Like it hasn't been as bad as some are saying. At least
look,
not
it's actually
consistently
dropping
bad.
when we did it.
The underlying problem is still there. Some are saying it's just a software issue, but we had to go out of our way to replicate this. It's not
Right.
like
It's
we
not like
didn't
you're gonna hold your
experience this
phone.
during a normal call. Yeah.
Like this.
Yeah.
Like-
If you want to swaddle your iPhone, then yes, you might lose a bar of coverage. But other than that, you'll be all right.
I make all my calls like this. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. It is on AT&T though, so you will still drop calls. We know AT&T is broken, but we have to mention it because it's an important part of the
It
phone.
just sucks that you have to accept that with this kind of awesome technology.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, but you can't make phone calls. Now, the iPhone 4 is $200 with a contract, and now AT&T has 2 levels of data plans. It's 200 megs a month for $15 and 2 gigs a month for $25. I don't know why you wouldn't go with the 2 gigs for only $10 more. That seems silly, but anyway. It's $20 more for tethering.
Yeah.
This is all in addition to your texting and minute fees. So taking all this into account, what are we rating it?
Okay, so here's the thing. We're giving it a 4 out of 5.
Oh.
Now, we would likely give the device itself a 5 out of 5, but the fact that you cannot review it without making mention of the fact that it's tethered to a network like AT&T. Listen, if you're buying this phone for the first time, you're now opting into a contract where they're going to charge you $375 to leave early. There's no unlimited data plan unless you already had one, and you're getting grandfathered in. So we have to factor all that in. My take on it, look, yes, I'm going to get jealous when people come up to me and they go, hey, look at my high-def video and my gyroscope. Awesome. I have a 3GS though, and right now it doesn't seem worth it for me to spend several $100s, get tied into potentially a new contract with that much of an early termination fee, the tethering fees and everything else. It just doesn't make sense for me to upgrade right now, only to have the flash and the high-def video. However, if you're upgrading from an old original, like the OG iPhone, the Edge version, or you've got a Razor in your pocket for some reason, then yes, it's absolutely worth it. It's one of the best iPhones ever. In fact, it's the best iPhone ever. So there you have it.
You just did your own loop.
I think I did. You've just been fed.
Yes, exactly. All right, that's it for today's Gadget Prawn. But if you have a gadget you would like us to see us rate, email us at gadgetprawn@g4tv.com.